Good evening from Pensacola, Florida. Before I make tonight's dedication, I wanted to tell you that we had a darn good ride today. 100 miles. I'd say about 70 of it was in rain, about 30 of it was in torrential-ish rain, and it was both my most emotional day and the day that I laughed the most. So I know what the correlation is, of course. I think I let go of some stuff on the bike today that is certainly part of my grieving process, and that's one of the things I'm here for. At one point, 2.5 or 3 hours into the ride, um, I fell off Rick's wheel and just let them zip ahead, and I had this amazing, very intense, very sad, very empty feeling inside, and I just started weeping. It was as if someone had come up behind me with an electrical cord and like shoved it into my back as it was raining, and so it was a visceral feeling, and I just started weeping, and I sat there and pedaled as slow as you could humanly pedal a bike without falling off of it, and eventually Kurt saw me and pedaled back toward me, and he put his hand on my back as we were riding, and he just said, "You know we love you, don't you?" And I looked up at him and I said, "Yes, I do." And that was an amazing moment in my life, and certainly an amazing moment in my grieving process. A few minutes later, Rick came by me, and he simply just put his hand on my arm as he rode by, and I knew what that meant. It was just a show of solidarity, a show of support, a show of love as we were making our way down the road. One of the things I've come out here to do is to wring out my soul. I've written this, I've said this, I believe in this. And today was about the first time that I really came in close contact with that part of my mission. About a half an hour after all this happened, we came upon a sign that showed that we were about 10 miles from an area here in Florida on the Gulf Coast where Joanne and I have taken the boys for spring break for the past 5 or 6 years, and had no idea that we were anywhere near this area. And I quickly realized that this contact with Pablo that I'd felt half an hour earlier happened for a reason, and I believe it happened because we were coming up to an area where Pablo had been many times, the only place in Florida he'd ever been. And if this sounds like hocus pocus to you, that's fair enough. For me, I look for these symmetries in life. I believe in them, they work for me, and I certainly use them to glide along in my life and in my grieving process, and I certainly did glide along on my bike today with this in my heart. By the time we had dinner outside a couple hours ago, we were laughing and telling stories about our friends in New Orleans, and telling them great stories about Joanne's grandfather, Paw Paw, and his many exploits, and found ourselves laughing at all kinds of different things. And I have to say that was the payoff for me. That was also Pablo, having fun, enjoying life, and digging in. So as we wrap up tonight here on the East Coast, I want to make our dedication this evening to a little girl named Chelsea Anne Hicks. The reason I chose Chelsea today is because she's from Oregon, and we rode this morning for a young lady from Oregon. So I want to stay with this theme. Chelsea was 4 years old when she passed away earlier this year. She passed away in February, on February 20th of this year. So just a couple of months before Pablo. And she's from, I don't know if I'm pronouncing the city right, Tigard, Oregon. And I want to say that I'm going to keep her in my heart tonight when I bow my head in meditation here in my hotel room. And I'm going to walk around the hotel before I go to bed and give her name and her information to all the people who are out here with us and ask them to hold her in their hearts this evening as they shut down their minds and their bodies for the evening. I might ask that you do the same thing in your life, wherever you are in the world. This is a request for you to open your heart to somebody who lost their life, and certainly to her family as they walk this path that Joanne and Grady and I are walking right now, and this path that we are very much riding out here. I want to give a shout out to everybody who's watching this video, and I just want to say that we appreciate your eyeballs, we appreciate your attention, and we appreciate your heart very much. And I ask that you pass along the word about the Pablove Foundation and about Pablove across America, and that you let people know what we're doing out here, only so that we may carry out our mission and for nothing else. So with that, I will say good night from Pensacola, and we'll see you in a few hours.